All right, everybody, welcome to the start of the Made in the USA show. Now, this isn't quite the total start of the show. We do have a little bit of fun here right at the beginning. Lori is going to be talking with Sean from Pets for Vets and give kind of a little bit of information on that. So I'm going to bring them up onto the screen now, and I'll let Lori take it away. Lori and Sean, it's all yours.
Thank you, Brandon. Yes, today we are doing our nonprofit spotlight featuring a 501c3 that is dedicated to providing a second chance to shelter dogs and companionship for veterans. So with us today, we have Sean Quigley, who is a chapter director for their Cape Fear, North Carolina chapter. And Sean is a former Army medic and he is a lover of dogs. So I'm going to let Sean share a little bit about who he is, his life as an Army medic, and how he became involved with Pets for Vets.
Yeah,
welcome,
Lori,
Sean.
Thank you so much for having me on. I certainly appreciate it. So I was a medic in the Army. I was primarily stationed with the 1st Armored Division and 2nd Infantry Division. And after I got out of the military, I served 4 years active and 4 years reserve. And after I got out, went to work for a little while, and then I kind of had a desire to find some way to support the veteran community around me the best that I could. And I had a buddy of mine at the time that had looked into Pets for Vets a little bit. And he said, "Hey, do you know anything about these guys?" And I said, "No, not really." So I looked into it. I contacted the National Pets for Vets group and talked to them for a little while, did some due diligence on the website. And it basically combined two things that I'm very passionate about, and that's supporting veterans. And I'm a huge dog lover as well. And when I looked into the program a bit, I thought, this is perfect for me. So I kind of jumped in with both feet. I helped found the Cape Fear chapter with my buddy. And it took a while because starting a 501c3, there's a lot of kind of heavy lifting that you have to do to get it started. But we eventually got things going with the help of the National Pets for Vets group. And we are one of about 25 or so, 30 chapters around the country. And it's a great organization. And what we do, the short version of what we do is that we take dogs from shelters and we train them and put them together with veterans who have requested a companion animal. The process is pretty simple for the most part. It takes some time, but it's a pretty simple process. If a veteran believes that they could benefit from a companion animal, they can just go to our website, petsforvets.com. They'll find an application to fill out. Once they do that, the national group will source their application to the nearest chapter. Hopefully there's a chapter near them. Sometimes, we don't have complete national coverage yet. But if there is a chapter that's close to them, then that chapter director will reach out to the veteran. They will do a couple of kind of introductions with them just over email and over the phone. And then eventually they'll do an in-home visit because they kind of need to get a good idea of the environment that the dog will eventually be going into. We work with all veterans. So, we might be I've worked with, for example, a younger OIF, OEF veteran that had 2 small children. They had a huge house, a big yard, big fenced in yard. And I've also worked with, an older Vietnam veteran who lived in a very small walk-up condo, rarely left to go outside. So, there's 2 very different situations there. So we have to get to know the veteran, their background, the situation the dog's going to be going into. And after kind of gathering a lot of information, we basically build sort of like a doggy profile, kind of what we're looking for in terms of the right dog for that particular veteran. And then we'll go out with our trainers to local shelters and start looking through the different dogs that they have to try and find a dog that kind of matches what we're looking for. Once we find that and the dog passes our socialization tests, we'll pull the dog from the shelters. We'll work with the dog, train the dog. The dog usually either goes with our trainers or into a foster home. It kind of depends on the situation. And then we'll work to train that dog up. And then there's a lot of logistics and a lot of other things that we have to do as far as, We make sure that the dog's getting to the veterinarian's office so they're up to date on shots, they're completely healthy, that kind of stuff while we're training the dog as well. We start buying the supplies that the veteran will need. We run completely on donations, so everything that we buy to support the dog and to support the veteran and any fees that we incur at, say, a veterinarian's office, all comes from donations. And we've been very fortunate that the public seems to really support us quite well in that regard. But then, the day comes around that everybody looks forward to, which is match day. Usually there's, a lot of like smiles and tears and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, we follow up with the match as well. We follow up with the veteran and their dog to make sure that training's going well, that the bonding is going well, that they have the supplies that they need to kind of help form that bonding relationship. And we'll be there pretty much for the life of the dog. We're not there every day. We start to eventually step back. The first week we're there pretty much every day, every other day, making sure things are going well. And then we start to step back a little bit as they begin to bond and kind of find how they best work together. Excuse me. But we're there whenever the veteran needs help. If they want to call and say, hey, I might like to do some more training, or can you help me with this or that with the dog? We're always willing to jump in and support them in any way necessary. So that's kind of a general overview of a little bit about me and a lot, hopefully, about Pets for Vets. But our website has lots of great information as well. I encourage anybody who's interested to please go to our website. You can find the different chapters in the different areas around the country. If you want to read some stories about matches that we've done, make sure that you have some tissue nearby, because you'll probably start crying, because they're really neat to read. They're great stories. So, yeah. Yep.
That is wonderful. And I love that you support them beyond that initial, connection, because as a pet owner, I know they're so expensive. Mm-hmm. And you do, run into, issues sometimes. So it's nice that you continue that support. And I just want our audience too, if there's anyone out there, there are lots of dog lovers out there that I'm aware of. And if there's anybody that wants to support your chapter, can they do that through the website, make a donation?
Absolutely. Yeah. So when you go to the website, petsforvets.com, there's lots of things you can do. If you're a veteran, you can fill out an application. If you want to volunteer with us, you can fill out a volunteer application. If you want to donate, of course you can donate. You can also select where you want your donation to go. If you want, you can give a donation just to the National Pets for Vets group, and then they will distribute it to whichever chapter needs the money the most. Or you can select a specific chapter when you're making your donation. I'm the chapter director for the Cape Fear chapter, so you can select Cape Fear chapter. You could select, the Washington D.C. chapter. If you want it to go to a specific chapter, that's you're welcome to do so as well. Yep.
And you also mentioned that there are different chapters across the country that you're not represented everywhere. But if they go to your website, is there a listing of what cities you are currently in?
Yes. So if you go to petsforvets.com, across the top of the screen, you'll see chapters, and then there's just a drop down list, and it's distributed by region. So if you can look at Northeast, Southeast, Northwest, Southwest, and I think Midwest, I believe, is how they're separated by region. So you can look at your particular region and then see if there's a chapter that's close to you. Yeah. And
do your chapters have wish lists? I know some people, they look for dog food or old blankets or different things, or do you prefer cash donations so you can get what you need?
Well, it's far easier. I don't want to turn anyone away, because some chapters do accept those type of donations, but for us, it really is far easier to just have a cash donation. And the reason is because things ebb and flow, right? Sometimes we have several matches that we're working on at once, and we could pretty much use everything we can get our hands on. We could use food, treats, doggy beds, all that kind of stuff. But there are times when we are more focused on, getting our trainers additional training, getting our associate directors additional training. We may not have a lot of matches that are going on at that time. So we may be supporting matches that we have already done. So just the cash donation allows us the flexibility that we need. Also, it gets a little tricky sometimes because with things like food and treats, because again, while we love them, the other thing is that we try and keep our dogs kind of on one food type, on one treat type, that kind of thing, because the more that we can cut down on the changes that the dog has to go through, the better. And I just tell people to think about, we of course we're thinking about the veteran and what's best for the veteran, but we also are thinking about the dog and what's best for the dog. Because if you think about it, the dog somehow ended up in the shelter and then somehow ended up with us in either with our trainers or in our foster homes. And then we'll end up with our veteran, which ultimately will be a wonderful thing. But that's a lot of transition for a dog to make as well. Mm-hmm. So if we can do simple things like make sure that they have the same diet, make sure, most of our dogs are pretty treat driven and people driven. So make sure that they're getting the same treats. If we can kind of keep them on similar schedules. So when they go to the veteran's house, if we know the veteran is an early riser or a late riser, so we try and get the dog on the same kind of schedule. The more that we can kind of keep things the same, the better. That's why cash is kind of allows us the flexibility that we need. So I know that was kind of a long-winded answer. But I love the fact that, I get that question all the time, and I have people that call me all the time and offer things like that. And unfortunately, I say it kind of depends.
Yes. And sometimes donations are great and sometimes they can be a burden. So I appreciate that answer. And then we just have a few seconds before we have to wrap up. But a question for you. Were you a recipient of a Pets for Vets dog?
Yes, I get that question a lot too, and I am not. No, I kind of laugh about that because my volunteers threaten to show up my house with a dog all the time, and I love that, and I know it's going to happen at some point. It really will, because I play foster dad frequently. So I love that, I'd love to work with as many of our dogs as I can. I'm not a trainer myself, but I've learned a lot from our trainers. So sometimes when I need to be, I'm a foster dad. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. And then what's the biggest benefit that you see?
Well, there's actually so many, but if I had to pick one, I'll give you a story. If you don't mind, real quick. So one of the last matches that I did was with a gunny up at Camp Lejeune. He was about to retire. He was a little over 20 years. He was a Purple Heart veteran, and he, like a lot of veterans, myself included, sleep is a major issue. And I can tell you, we found him a beautiful black lab that was an owner surrender at one of our local shelters. A stunningly beautiful dog. Passed all of our tests with flying colors, zipped through our training very quickly. And we had match day eventually with the gunny. They bonded almost immediately. It was amazing to watch. Usually it takes a couple of weeks before you start really seeing the bond. But whatever happened there, it was just like an immediate bond between the two of them. And the day after match day occurred, he called me and said that he slept for almost 8 hours that night. And that now, again, that's unusual. Usually it takes a while for that bonding to happen and kind of the progression of the bond to happen. But for them, it happened very quickly. But I use that as an example because I always tell people, I say, now, what do you take away from that? Think about it this way. What were you like the last time you only got 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep, right? What were you like the next day? And then think about if that happens every night, right? And then think about how you feel the day after getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep. It's literally a massive quality of life change for him immediately. Because you're getting better sleep, right? You feel better. You don't hurt as much. Your pain is lessened. Some of the injuries that you have are lessened because your body has a chance to recover, right? And then, of course, he has them for the rest of the day. He's always there with them. I call them our furry battle buddies. You know, in the military, we have battle buddies. I call them our furry battle buddies. You know, there's your furry battle buddy is there for you to lean on. They help reduce stress. They help reduce anxiety. It's just such a big quality of life change.
It is wonderful. And
yeah.
I thank you for your service. I thank all of the veterans out there for their service. What you're doing is wonderful. That's why we took note of you and wanted to highlight you and your organization today. So we put all of your information up there. If there's anybody out there watching that wants to get involved or would like to make a donation, it's petsforvets.com, and you can read all of the stories. And like Sean said, make sure you grab your box of tissues because there are some tear jerkers in there.
Yep.
So again, thank you so much, Sean. We appreciate you taking the time this morning to speak with us, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me on, Lori. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right, everybody, it's time for the national anthem. Thank you so much to Lori and Sean for talking about Pets for Vets. You guys, these videos, if you did miss them, will be up on social media on all Promo Corner channels and even Promo Show over on Facebook. So if you missed that, you can go and check it out there. But for right now, I'm going to bring Doug Dittbenner up for the third time. Mr. Doug, how are we doing?
Great, great. Thanks for having me out here in beautiful 30 degrees in Minnesota again.
I wish we had those temperatures. I'm down in Austin, Texas. It's super warm, so I'll trade you, but just for the day.
Well, it's going to be winter until it's not, and then it's going to be 90, and then it'll be winter again. So we're good. Thanks for having me again, Brandon.
That is fantastic. Hey, I'm going to jump off here, Doug, and I'm going to let you do your thing. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Take it away. The stage is yours.
Okay, remove your hats, please, if you're wearing anything on your head. Here we go. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, man. Thank you so much, Doug. Every time, man, you always get me right in the feels. We got Sean up there tear jerking me. You got you singing the national anthem. Thank you so much, Doug, for taking time out of your day and really starting this Made in the USA show off right.
Thanks. Glad to do it. Available anytime for you all. And have a great event, folks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, I'm going to bring Lori back up. We're going to do a little bit of housekeeping here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the schedule so we can get you rolling forward and talking to those suppliers. So, Lori, wow. I love when we start these shows off like this. I mean, you got the tear-jerking stories over there from Pets for Vets. You got Doug singing the national anthem. What an amazing voice, even over virtual. Like, I'm still struggling to, like, you know, fight it back. I'm not too proud. I'm fighting it back, man.
Oh, I was the same way. I had my eyes welling up. I got the goosebumps. It's like, get you all in the mood for this great show. I always loved the USA Made show. makes me feel all patriotic and proud. And so, yeah, what a great start to the show. And we have so many other things lined up today.
Oh, absolutely. And that's, I'm going to kind of run through some housekeeping and then I'll let Lori take over the schedule. You guys, this is a live show. So the suppliers in the booths are live. They want to talk to you. They need to talk to you. You need to talk to them, right? It's one of those things that we're all here together to find out what is made in the USA, what is in stock, what can be done for our customers now here in the great states. One other little thing is up in the right-hand side in the upper right-hand corner, when you do enter their booth, and to enter a supplier's booth, you just click on this square that's got their logo in there. You'll see over on the right-hand side an automatic chat box. That's where you can actually type chat with a live supplier right there. They may have autoresponders on. So if you get an immediate text, that's the autoresponder. And if they take a little bit to reply, just give them a sec. They may be with another distributor. But if you want to see them face to face and really dig down deep and get into some projects, go ahead and click that meet button. It's the green one that's right above that chat box. That will actually ring them to meet with you one-on-one, face-to-face, camera to camera, however we're saying it after 2 years. But that is a great way to get in contact with them. And that's actually how you're going to be doing a lot of the contests and stuff that Lori will be talking about now.
So we have a great lineup today. If you click up, there's a little number icon. I think it might be a 7. It's the schedule. It's up in the corner there on Promo Show. So you can just click on that throughout the day if you forget what's coming up. But I will give you a quick overview. We at noontime today, we have picks of the week live. So we are going to have Mandy Rudd, Ryan Katie, and Christine Carpenter Gleason on live sharing their favorite USA made products. So that's going to be fun. That's at 12 Eastern time. And then at 1:30 this afternoon, we're going to be having a mini education session. We have Kenny Markanich on from Corporate Clothier, and he's going to be talking about the challenges of selling USA made and some of the things to consider and, you know, ways to overcome some of these challenges. So that is a must watch at 1:30 Eastern time. At 2:30, we have a very special return of how promo is made. And this is a USA made special episode featuring a product from our friends at Americana. So stay tuned this afternoon at 2:30 and you will get to see that video. And then we have contests. Everybody loves the contests. We have 4 great suppliers who have donated self-promos to be given away. And I'm just going to give a quick recap so people know what they're playing for today. We have Coaster Stone, who has donated 25 decks of playing cards. It must be a self-promotion. So that is one of our giveaways. Best Promotions is giving away 100 slim can coolies, full color. They're perfect for those Trulies and High Noons and thin ultra cans. So perfect for summer. So thank you to our friends at Best. BrandedTreats.com is giving away 25 chocolate dipped Oreo pops.
Oh.
They're individually wrapped. You must provide a shipper number for that one. But I've indulged in some of Branded Treats and they are yummy. All right. And lastly, we have 2 giveaways from our friends at Natural Trends. They are giving away 48 herbal soap bars. Wow. They're really neat. They're pretty. So 25 herbal soap bars. And the other giveaway from Natural Trends is 100 Tide to Go pens. Has to be a self-promotion, but 100 Tide to Go pens. Who doesn't love that? I'm always spilling stuff.
I'm always spilling stuff on me. I'm wearing white and I'm like going to Mexican food restaurants or Italian food and inevitably salsa or marinara is right on the shirt instantly.
All right, so now for the details on how you can win these great prizes. All right, so this is the important stuff. So we are doing a Riddle Me This contest. I love these. So what you need to do, you can go to the promo corner booth, and inside the booth, go to the flyers, and you will see this form. It is the Riddle Me This form. It has 10 riddles. You need to answer the riddle correctly. The answer is a promotional product, and you need to list a supplier who is on the floor that carries the item. So this is a little tricky. So you smarty pants out there, answer your riddles and then list a supplier. It has to be a supplier on the show floor who carries the item. If you get both parts right, you get a point. So you have the chance to get 10 points. Each point is an entry. So you could get 10 entries into the drawings. You can only win one prize. So that is a catch. If you fill out the entire sheet and you get everything right, if you are an A+ student and get everything right, you get 3 extra entries. So you could get 13 entries into the contest. So get started on this. So 2 ways to enter. Go to the promo corner booth, open up the flyer. You can download it and fill in the answers and email it back to us at contest@promoshow.com. Says it right on the form. Or if you want to go and print it out or write it out on a piece of paper, if you're not really tech savvy or if you're just lazy, I don't care how you do it. You can take a picture of it with your phone and then email it back to us at contest@promoshow.com. Doesn't really matter how you get it to us. Just make sure it goes to contest@promoshow.com. And they need to be received no later than 2:30 Eastern time today to be entered, because we have to go through and do all of our scoring and see who got the right answers. So we will come back on at noon and refresh your memories with this. But the Riddle Me This will be going on from now until 2:30. And like I said, the answers to all of these questions are promotional products. And all of the suppliers on the floor carry at least something. So you can use the suppliers multiple times. Like some suppliers might carry a few of the answers. So,
Yep.
All right.
So if you missed any of those instructions, this video is up on all of Promo Corner social media, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, even Promo Show on Facebook. You can go back, fast forward through everything, and you can listen to the instructions again. But like she said, go to the Promo Show booth or Promo Corner booth.
Promo Corner booth.
And it's in the flyers section, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you're going to find that form that you can either download and digitally type out an email or screenshot it on your phone. There's 1,000 ways you can get that digitally.
Thing, Brandon, they can just email us at contest@promoshow.com too, and we can send them one. So if that's easier for people, just shoot us an email at contest@promoshow.com and say, hey, send me a sheet, and we'll send you a sheet too. So
that is perfect.
Easy. We're trying to be easy. It's hard virtually sometimes to, but yeah, just email us.
All right, you guys, that is going to wrap it up for the intro here. Go out there, talk to all those amazing suppliers live in their booths, and we will see you guys back noon Eastern time for the picks of the week and those amazing people. So we'll see you guys then.